huge weekend coming up for me. I am going to replace a lot of audio gear in this F150, 2015 F150 XLT with a sport package. Does not come with any upgraded sound system or speakers, so the stock system in here is pitiful, and I have lived with it for 8 years now, and it's time to upgrade. I will start with the head unit, and that's a Sync 2 system, Ford Sync 2, so it does not have CarPlay, Apple CarPlay capability, so I'm looking forward as part of the upgrade to getting CarPlay in here. My package from Crutchfield arrived today. So we have front speakers, tweeters that will go in the A-pillar, new kicker amp, the Kenwood DMX908S system, amp wiring kit, Maestro RR connections to make sure that I retain all of the factory capabilities from the head unit. I also have rear speakers, some Polk rear speakers, a bunch of wires, connectors, cables. Crutchfield's great. They sent me as well at no additional charge with buying all this, some adapters for the speakers to fit in the doors. And then in here we have a new subwoofer. So I will first get started on the truck with the head unit, installing that Kenwood monitor. I will likely break the install up into several videos. First one focusing on that, and then I'll move on to the speakers and the amp. I'm going to go ahead and put the subwoofer under the seat and the amp likely behind the rear seat on the driver's side. I did a previous video testing the location for the ground wire that can go in the back there. So I will go ahead and get started here. Stay tuned for future videos. Thank you. And first things first, safety first. You will want to unscrew and remove the negative terminal. I'm gonna take both the negative and positive terminals off of the battery. Make sure you don't short anything out, catch yourself on fire. As you can see, I've had mice get into the truck and eat up the outside of the wire. This is a 10mm socket. I think a lot of things on this truck and this audio system are going to use either a 10, 8, or 7 socket, so you definitely want to have those handy. Okay, with those undone, I can start work inside the truck. Yeah, now I'm going to get started on the stereo. Again, it's the Kenwood DMX908S. I have not opened this yet, so let's do a little unboxing here. Plenty of wires to lose track of. Alright, I won't take that completely out yet. I'll get inside the truck here and start to remove the existing unit. So inside here, first thing you got to do is take off the center speaker. There's a couple screws, 7mm screws down in there then. And once again, I got my pry tools. Let's see if we can get this off. But there, and out. This one's here. Yeah, so I'm fairly certain it's just clips, so I'm going to lift. See if we can pop them out. Alright, there we go. Give you a look at it there. 3 clips in the front. And here's the center speaker. Okay, got that out. And then we have 2 more 7mm. Okay, there we go. So let's see if we can pop this off. Oh yeah. It's always scary doing stuff like this because you really don't want to break anything. So we finally got the clips off here. These ones have a very small piece inside there. I don't know if you can see that very well on the camera. And inside here that you kind of have to press in on in order to get that released. This one has one at the bottom here that I deep pressed. And this one just came out pretty easy. Same thing, one at the bottom there. So with those out, now we can remove the screws here, 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 and here. I think just 4 of them to start with. So let me get working on that. So again, 7mm up here. If I need these. And I'll go ahead and take the stereo unit out down here too. So this looks to be connected with 2 clips. So this one, you have to press on that and you'll hear it click. When it clicks. Yeah, so this little piece here, if I just press down on it, then it allows this to slide over. And that's what brings that up. And the stereo should come out. There we go. And it too has a lot of wires running into the back of it that I will remove here. Okay, got all those out. So they just have little things that you have to depress as well for each of those 4 things that were into the back of the stereo. Okay, and I went ahead and put these screws back in here just so that they're there for future reference. And I'll hang on to the 6 that I removed from the head unit in case we need to end up using those. So now I'm going to take a look at the new Kenwood and all of the harnesses that came with it and see what we need to do in order to get things connected properly. Just been unwrapping all of the wires, so I've got my Kenwood head unit wires here. I just unboxed this Maestro RR, which has wire connections for it. And I'll need to do a setup on my laptop to configure it to the truck. And then there's also this installation kit. With some specific connections for the truck. And this is quite a bit overwhelming. So I am going to do some research, read through the manuals here, make sure that I fully understand how these wires are going to connect to one another. So it took me a few minutes to figure out just how to assemble the brackets properly onto the new unit. So I'll describe what I did here. This black surrounding came from this kit that's specific to Ford installations. I attached the black surround to these, which are R2 and L2 labeled. They also came from this kit. And I used screws that came with the Kenwood unit. These brackets here were the ones in my truck previously with the special hex screws that I put on the sides here. So with all of that assembled, we go to the truck here and see that it fits properly. Where it should go. And so that is a good fit. That tells me, at least from that perspective, I have one thing figured out. I might have started to figure some things out with these wires. So I had this box show up with everything. Again, Crutchfield, amazing with what they provided us. And that had this wire that connected directly into the back of the Kenwood, which then this wire connected into that adapter, and this is the wire that came with this kit, the MFT1 kit. And so for right now, here is the wire and harness that would plug into the back of the Kenwood unit that came with the Kenwood unit. And I don't think I need that right now. I'm gonna see how this works, because right with this adapter into here, plugs in. Something else that I also just did is connected this Maestro RR connection right here, and that will plug into the Maestro unit. I did already just get on my laptop, didn't show it on video. It's easy enough. There's other videos, other YouTube videos that you can easily find. All you do for that is you plug the Maestro unit into your laptop after you download some software from the website, create an account, and then plug in this to the laptop. And you make different selections based on your vehicle type, the specific unit you have, and then you can select like what buttons on your steering wheel and dashboard are going to do, whether you press them once or hold them down. There's different options there. So I've done that already. So I think I'm ready to plug this in. I'm going to see which others of these I need to have plugged in. And again, I'm going to do this without the amplifier or subwoofer just yet. I want to get this system installed and then work on installing those things as a different project. So I've managed to connect some more wires into the back of this thing. And I have one, this is the GPS unit that I'm likely going to mount. I haven't done any of the stickies yet, but likely going to mount it right here. And the truck has a nice divot right there for the wire to go down, and it will connect here. I have also added, this is the antenna. The Kenwood instruction manual has a nice diagram of what each one of these inputs is for: USB-C connection, microphone input, the backup camera, aux, audio. So I think I have everything in that I need to get in. And now I'm going to start to look at the connections that need to be made into the truck itself. So the connection from the stereo unit here connects to this harness in the dash. A lot of these wires, remember, are for connecting into the dashboard panel with the buttons. There's one here that is the antenna, and I'll have to do some research. I'm not sure which one of these, if either of them, is for the antenna, so I need to figure out the antenna. I tucked all the wires back in under here, and everything's not cleaned up yet. Here's the microphone, here's USB, so all that needs cleaned up. But what I'm gonna do is take the dashboard button panel and try to get this connected. I'm not gonna snap it all the way back in yet. I'll just leave it like this. I think I'm ready to reconnect the battery. See if anything blows up. First attempt. Battery has been plugged back in. I have no idea what's going to happen here. Oh goodness. I'm shocked. All right, I will walk this through the setup now. So after a bit of playing around, I was able to set up Apple CarPlay for my phone without any trouble. Most things seem to work except gauges. I don't know if gauges should work, and my rear camera, because I do have a backup camera on the truck, and it does not. So I figured out the problem with the camera. That kit here came with this harness as well, which explains why I had this thing that I didn't connect to anything. Yeah, push that down and I pull it up and secure it. And this has a couple of harnesses that match up, right? Because I looked at the back of the Kenwood receiver where I had plugged in the black, I guess it was a yellow connection and a black wire for the camera, and sure enough, that's what feeds over here. So, user error. So as I had mentioned before, the gauges button wasn't working in the pre-program, but it is now. So again, another thing that I solved with that wire connection, which is good. Shows me the battery voltage, which doors, and the hood's open. The doors, several doors are open. I'm pleased with the system so far. I will finish things up here. I want to get these wires nice and neat and figure out where I'm going to have those things go, like the microphone. You know, try to put it on the dash somewhere hidden, but where it's useful. Alright, I think that's it for the install of this. If you have any questions, anyone, about the install, let me know. I know this may not have been the most detailed. Some of the sections I kind of went over and I was learning along the way, but happy to help if you have any questions.